Discussion.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Let's start.
So we should avoid any distraction. All right. So what do you want to start first?
Myself.
Your part?
Yeah.
Okay. And what is your part about?
Both NFE and LTE and the
Okay.
integration of ST into it.
Okay. All right. And then who's the next? Or?
And myself, like discussion about Open Daylight Controller.
Okay. And you're talking about the security part. Okay. That thesis, the summary of the thesis.
I studied.
Okay. And anything else after the summary of the thesis?
They are using 1.0 on the
Right.
video selector.
Yes.
But 1.3 have completely overcome the video selector. We have some inbuilt features.
Right.
So the OpenFlow 1.3 version itself have overcome the problem they have observed completely, and they have just used the 500 brackets for 40 seconds, and they processed the whole thesis with the 500 brackets only. That's what they performed in the previous attack.
Okay.
But now in the OpenFlow 1.3, that attack have been completely overcome by the inbuilt features.
Where's the microphone? Can you hear?
Yeah, he can hear.
Even though you're speaking
yeah,
back?
yeah,
Okay.
everybody.
All right. I also emailed you another paper
Yes,
in the conference. This group from Japan.
Yeah.
They have some kind of hybrid network.
Okay.
They detect some suspicious traffic flow.
Yeah,
They send it to SDN
yeah,
for further analysis.
yeah.
Right.
So we adopted something similar, like from the paper,
Okay.
and then we have designed a model, and then we have proposed a new method
Okay.
to avoid all the vulnerabilities, to tackle all the vulnerabilities in SDN. So at the end of the presentation, he's going to talk about the model.
All right. Okay. Let's start with this V. Right. Right. Okay. Go ahead. You want to launch this?
This is the overview of the topic which I am going to discuss. I'll start with network visualization, with network function visualization, and what is the need of NFE to LTE, and LTE's functional architecture and its interfaces, and what are the existing works that is being done on LTE with NFE integration, and the problem statements in the existing papers, and our proposed solution to that problems. To start off with the NFE, it is used to design and deploy the networking services. The networking services may be like security service or a triple play service. It's actually deploying a service from its hardware and putting it to a generic server, a single generic server, where the functions of the hardware are being virtualized. These functions include like storage and the functions of gateways or switches. It is actually being managed by European Telecommunication Standard Institute. A group of people from industry proposed this standard for NFV, where the goal is to maintain an architecture and requirements for NFV. The next is like benefits of NFV. What is the need of NFV? It mainly focuses on industries. First one is like reducing the capex, that is capital expenditure, where the cost of buying a dedicated hardware is being replaced to a software. To reduce the OPEX means reducing the operational costs such as the space, power and cooling requirements for a hardware is being replaced. The third is like accelerate time to market, where the support of it provides a support for changing a market environments. If there is a sudden need, it can be easily adopted when a software is being used. The last one is delivering agility and flexibility. If a software is being used now, it will be flexible for any changes. New innovations can also be adapted to NFV. And comparison between NFV and SDN is like SDN focuses on separation of control layer from its forwarding layer, where NFV is like taking the whole network functions to a generic software. The whole is being replaced. This is the basic concept of NFV and SDN. The locations are SDN focus on cloud and campus data center networks, whereas NFV focus on service providers. The devices are being same for SDN and NFV, like servers and switches. Applications on NFV is like content delivery networks, routers, gateways, and service level agreement assurance has been implemented in NFV. Whereas in SDN it's like cloud and networking functions. OpenFlow is a protocol used for SDN and no specific protocol is given for NFV. The foundation for SDN is Open Network Foundation, and for NFV is ETSI. Actually, when we look on for LTE functions in SDN, we are not able to get it. But NFV supports the functions of LTE. So we go for NFV. As said before, it reduces the capex and opex. LTE is something like expanding. It demands something often. So we go for NFV so that the software can be updated. Service agility is like the services what the customer needs can be updated often if we go for a software environment. Open independent software vendor is like everything is going to be placed in a cloud where even a small vendor can update its requirements. It's easy for even a small vendors. So the elements what we are going to do is we are going to visualize the elements of an LTE and it is going to be managed by an OpenFlow protocol, that is SDN.
Fans.
Fans.
Because of fans.
Okay.
This is the functional architecture of LTE. The dark lines are the data part, and the dotted lines are the control parts of an LTE. X1, S are the interfaces between the elements in the LTE, and these are the interfaces in LTE. The both in blue indicates the radio bearers, interfaces for radio bearers, and the interfaces in orange is for EPC bearers. And the last one is like bearers for that support for QoS, that is dedicated bearers.
Sorry, can you go back to the chart? Yeah, the figure. Okay. LTE function. So those are this paragraph doesn't have to have anything to do with SDN, just traditional
Basic
traditional LTE. Okay. Right.
Nothing with the SDN or
Right.
NFV.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
And we read some papers with NFV and LTE. The first one is Virtual SDN Enabled LTE EPC Architecture, a case study of SNP gateway functions, where they have, it's like in every paper, they are just implementing the interfaces. And the interfaces like S4 is meant for mobility. That means MIME is being virtualized and the interfaces is being implemented. S5 means the serving gateway and packet gateway are being virtualized and S5 is being implemented. Only the interfaces are being implemented between and every virtualized elements. Not the whole function is being virtualized. The second paper is about implementing S1 MIME and S11 interfaces. That is for UTRAN and MIME, and MIME is the serving gateway for radio bearer side. And the third paper is for monitoring the whole LTE networks. Fifth paper is for S4 interface, which is for mobility and control. Sixth one is like S8 is for roaming, and S10 is for within MIME communications. And the last paper is like S1 interfaces. Or actually, there's two S1 interfaces: S1 for MIME and S1 for serving gateway and Neutron. So people are focusing only on radio bearers and EPC bearers, not on the QoC bearers. That is, dedicated bearers are not being implemented. And in the existing works, the problem given is like updating and synchronization problem. There's no details about the QoS, and QoS barriers like dedicated barriers have not been implemented. Third is like S9, SGI, RX and GX interfaces are not being touched. And the last one is like no details about PCRF. The reason is like updation and synchronization problem and PCRF all requires a database. SDN cannot be integrated. It has a problem with integrating with the database where NFV will support it. Integrating with the database is done via OpenStack, which has an interface called as Neutron. It connects the database of a cloud environment to an NFV environment.
Like Neutron is being supported by OpenDaylight. So the problem with communication of controller to the database can be overcome. Like there can be a solution with the Neutron interface.
Actually, why the PCRF? We proposed a solution like.
So could you go back to the slide, previous slide? So the first one, synchronization.
Yes.
Between what? Between what elements?
Updation and synchronization of PG. They have implemented the packet gateway and the serving gateway, but they are not being synchronized often.
Okay.
Like the rules, charging rules, etc. has to be updated. So there's a problem in quick updation of those informations. So it's lagging.
Only the initial barrier is set up and the final setup is being done, not the updation barriers are not being set up.
Any change at any point of
Any
time is
change.
not being updated.
Yes,
Yeah,
like,
Initially when you started, there's one fixed
yes,
Yeah.
like if user demands for some other service or increased data rates, so that has to be done then and there.
Okay, right.
Yeah, if we change for a plan, then the quality of services provided for a user should also change, right?
Yes,
So what you are
exactly.
saying, like
Yes.
in the initial level, they have set up these are all the user
Services.
services.
Yes.
Where even if the user changes without the support for database, it cannot
Yes.
update itself and
Yes.
synchronize itself to the changes.
That's why they haven't touched this part when it comes to implementation. In the paper, they haven't touched this part like
QoS,
PGW's function. They haven't virtualized it.
The reason is like PCRF has a module called as subscriber SPF subscriber profile repository. It's actually a repository is a database where the QoS minimum guaranteed bit rate and maximum guaranteed bit rate priorities are being set into that database. So the PCRF should access the database to get the details. Because of the database problem, it is not being touched.
And for the scope, you're talking about one ISP, right? You're not talking about multiple ISP, LTE ISPs.
Like,
Right.
right.
Rogers here and Bell, they're two, for example, wireless providers,
Yes,
For your scope,
service providers.
right, service providers. So you're talking about just one
Yes,
ISP.
like
Service providers.
EPC and the radio interfaces, like we have kept that apart and we have concentrated with the service provider part with PDN, PGW gateway,
Mhm.
which communicates with the application.
Required
of the-
application.
Yeah.
We proposed a solution like we are going to virtualize a subscription profile repository which has a better SP which is being connected to policy and charging rules and function with which is going to be connected to application function via RX interface, and there is online charging system and offline charging system which will be connected to policy and charging enforcement function via G interfaces. We are going to place a gateway to the controller. That is, we are going to virtualize the gateway, and the functions are also going to be virtualized. and this gateway is going to be managed by a SDN controller. Accessing for SPRS is going to be done by a OpenStack.
This is how we have framed some idea.
So the green parts, those two green
Yes.
boxes are for the,
Those are the rules for a subscriber.
Charging rules.
These two decide what should be given. Decision makers are these two. PCRF decide and tells to the PCF.
okay.
So like you're gonna apply, you're gonna develop an application for an open daylight controller,
Yeah.
which does the function of PCRF or PCE.
It's going to, PCE is going to be the controller.
Okay,
So we are going to visualize the services
okay,
in terms of rule functions. So that are to be visualized
okay.
using ODL.
Okay, the services you're gonna
Yes, we're
visualize,
going
the
to-
functions you're gonna set it to the
Controller.
controller.
Yes. Again, we will be able to design a controller using Open Daylight.
Okay, yeah. And then the open daylight controller is gonna talk to the repository.
Repository,
Yes,
yes.
exactly.
Janani,
Yes, sir.
I have few questions, but before that, just I want to give a idea of how the existing network, maybe for the WiMAX also, if it is a small, instead of a small scale, industry or small scale service product, even they also have the AAA server and then the NMS and everything, they can keep it in that base station itself.
Okay.
And then it is possible to visualize. That is okay. But here, if you go